Hello everyone, my name is Miguel Infante. Now today I'm going to go over today's topic of discussion is the United States federal government should adopt Mark Cuban's proposal to give every American $1,000 stimulus check every 2 weeks for the next 2 months. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me begin on the contingency harms. The contingency harms here is this. The harm is this. Even though, yes, it sounds like a great idea, there could be problems that rely in the future. As we know, with COVID-19 and everything now that we have now in the world, COVID-19 is the biggest issue right now due to healthcare problems and people losing their jobs and etc., especially in the arts and different job areas in different fields. With that being said, the harms for contingency one is that the problems that can exist in the future for this one is that if we do go along with this plan, there is benefit. The one benefit is that people get the money, but the problem about that is as well is I want to bring up the attention that the amount of people that we have and $1,000 a week with the government and everything like that, our government economy would just spiral down again like it did a couple months ago. And a couple months ago, I have statistics here saying that we had about a good majority of Americans still now that haven't received their stimulus checks. Now, the percentage on that is like 87%. 87% of people were struggling to get their stimulus check, and some people now are not even getting that. And when stimulus checks were coming in, people that had stimulus checks that died, and that's when things started to go haywire. So the government is out of control with the stimulus checks. Now, as far as inherency for contingency two is this. Contingency two is just the fact of the matter is the healthcare right now with the stimulus check is this. I want to go back to the harms. Is the problems that can exist is that not only was that a big issue, big problem when the government was issuing people stimulus checks from people that died. The problem with that was that the government was all backed up with that, and people were not getting their stimulus checks. And right now, with COVID-19, if we did get the $1,000 with the Mac and with that whole entire deal, it would suffice. But that's one negative of it and the downside of it. But here's the positive side of it. The positive side about it is this: if we can get that money and adapt that $1,000 a week every 2 months, yes, that is perfectly fine. That's perfectly normal. I think that would benefit people at the most right now, because we have people that are having families, low income families, and etc. And the food income in the food. And just making sure that everyone's taken care of. If we get $1,000 a week every 2 weeks for the next 2 months, it would suffice tremendously for people. Especially right now in the COVID-19 pandemic, it is very unlikely and where we are going to be set for the next couple of years. And for the next 2 months, as a matter of fact, we don't even know for the next 2 months where we're going to be at. So this would be a better proposal idea. Now for the inherency, I want to go back to the inherency. The inherency is this. This harm does not prevent anything. This harm, even though we do have a power decline, the power decline is this. The fact of the matter is that people are scared and afraid, and that when we had the pandemic happen, the pandemic just closed down every job in every field, and people are out of jobs. People are out of work, especially in schools right now. People right now, especially, let me give you statistics. Real quick. Right now, we have 2.2 million on a HEROES Act, including the second round of stimulus checks, and that is from CBS News. And the 7 biggest takeaways from the stimulus checks right now is that this can go either way. It can go either way, and it's free money. But either way, the inherency is looking good right now. And the inherency I want to go back on with this right now is that even if once this all pans out, if we can get it, there's no barrier. The only barrier that is the fact of the matter is that people are willing to take it. People are willing to take whatever they can get right now, and especially with President Trump and the election, everything right now is all up and tight. Now, we have also with the taxes with President Trump, and with that being tailed with that as well. Now, let me go back on the contingency. Let me go to the plan. The plan here is this. If we adopt this deal, and I believe that we should, adopting this deal would benefit Americans, benefit people, for everyone involved, because not only would it be a beneficial bonus for people for every 2 weeks, but it would also benefit the idea of not having to worry as much. Even though the stimulus check right now is a very, very weird new process that we have to deal with. People right now in low-income families and are trying to provide for their family cannot provide for their family as much as they should. Even though some people are going back to work, yes, this plan would work. Now, how is this plan going to work out? Well, President Trump and the Congress and everyone else involved in the state government, the people that have to sign this off is President Trump. Now he has to adapt to this thing, and I think he should, because overall, this pandemic is getting worse and worse by the minute, and we don't know when the vaccine is going to happen, or when it's going to get back to normal. Now, finally, to close off this debate, I believe that we should enforce this, because enforcing it, the only ones that we need to enforce it is President Trump and the people that are around him. President Trump has the veto act, and he has the power and authority to do it. So I believe that is right to do it. And the fact of the matter is that this is a good plan, and $1,000 every 2 weeks would suffice people and make their mind at ease. So thank you very much for your time.